wrestler leaves a major promotion such as WWE, it's common for them to explore their options and either perform for another wrestling company such as AEW or Impact Wrestling, or sometimes enter a brand new avenue such as acting. However, it's occasionally the case that a wrestler disappears from the public limelight following their WWE tenure, with their wrestling career either fading into the background or that wrestler trying to return to its so-called normal life. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 WWE wrestlers who fell off the face of the earth.
Fell off the face of the earth.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, WrestleMania.com. Number 10, Ezekiel Jackson.
Oh,
At
I
one
remember
point in
him.
time, it looked like Ezekiel Jackson was going to be positioned as a top star in WWE. When the infamous faction known as the Court disbanded, Jackson was presented as one of the future stars of the company, and a subsequent Intercontinental title reign would follow. The problem was that Jackson struggled to connect to the audience, and despite WWE putting Jackson in a prominent position on WWE TV, unfortunately the fans just couldn't care less. Jackson would be released from WWE in 2014, yet he didn't immediately fall off the face of the earth. Following his WWE tenure coming to an end, Jackson had runs in both Impact Wrestling and Lucha Underground. Both of these respective runs were brief, and it was revealed in 2015 that Jackson has since retired and now opts to train wrestlers rather than competing.
Yeah, this dude, I ain't seen him in a long time. Because wasn't he like the manager for Kendrick? Brian Kendrick or something like that. That's I think that, and I think the last time I seen him after that was like when they had the ECW 2.0 thing or whatever that was. And that was about it. I ain't seen him in a long time.
Number 9, Spike Dudley. Spike Dudley is one of the most
underrated
stars that have stepped into a WWE ring. Spike had the ability to get over with the audience, no matter if he was being slammed through several tables or he was a cutthroat heel who was bossing the Dudley Boys around. Spike was a truly fantastic talent, and it's hardly a surprise that everyone who ever worked with Spike had nothing but praise for the former Cruiserweight champion. When Spike retired in 2015, sightings of Spike went quiet, as he wasn't exactly a frequent user of social media, so it was difficult for fans to keep up with what he was up to. Spike would resurface a number of years later on WWE's digital show The Bump, and the response on social media to Spike was overwhelmingly positive. Spike has decided to stay out the public spotlight, which is of course completely understandable, and these days instead of taking dangerous bumps on Raw and SmackDown, Spike works in the world of finance. Number 8, Adam Rose. The WWE put a ton of resources into trying to make Adam Rose a huge deal. Rose would be given the gimmick of the leader of the Exotic Express, and whilst this gimmick was fun at first, after a couple of months it became increasingly tiresome. Rose would eventually be released in 2016.
He was risky, then he got big, didn't he? Because he was real little.
And every time he resurfaced, it was always for something controversial. Notably in 2016, he decided to release a t-shirt with his mugshot on it, which completely baffled fans, and those fans who had stuck by Rose slowly began to distance themselves from him. A subsequent retirement would follow for Rose, and based on social media posts, it appears that Rose put all his efforts into getting into insane shape, and he looks a completely different human being these days. Number 7, Ahmed Johnson.
Oh, come on now.
In the late 90s, Ahmed Johnson was without a doubt one of the most popular talents on the roster.
Let me stop right now. They just love picking at this man. Damn, they can't get enough. Seriously. That's why I made that video about I'm not turning my back because y'all something else. People are flip-flop on one post. They'll say, "Oh, I never liked this." Got another post say, "Yeah." It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm getting hot because y'all. Some are what they used to say. A buzzard is two-faced. Yeah, but leave this man alone now. Yeah, because he's out doing interviews and signings and stuff. Leave him be. Damn. They just can't get enough.
Behind the scenes, Johnson wasn't exactly the most likable person in the world. Unfortunately, his wrestling career began to fall apart when he departed WWE in 1998. When he resurfaced in
He said 50 times the man's sister was sick. man's sister was sick. And then some dumbass story they want him to do, he was not doing it. He already straightened that. And I hope he sees this. Because I remember what he said it 3 times. On the interview from 10, 12 years ago, his sister wasn't doing good. As he said he had to get out of there. He said he ain't in the talking about all his business. Said he just had to get out of there. Said his sister was sick and that's it. And that dumbass story, whatever. Which that's unless you dumb as hell, you can understand that the man's if the sister is sick or the brother is sick or the mother is sick, you can see a person taking off, or quitting or whatever. That's boy, folks, it's just something else. I'm telling you. And about the WCW thing for this guy get started. I like this channel. I'm just frustrated here. He even said coming back he wasn't in great shape. They said, all right, I'll go and give it a shot or whatever the man said. We see he wasn't. He even said himself he wasn't in shape then. So it's something else because I know folks gonna tear him up either way. But it's just folks is something else.
WCW, he'd put on considerable amount of weight, and his character, which saw him linked to Harlem Heat, was never going to light the world on fire. Johnson would decide to retire in 2003, and in the past 2 decades, he's cut ties with the wrestling industry completely. Outside of the occasional shoot interview, he prefers to keep himself private, and in terms of occupation following his retirement, he would study for a criminology degree in Houston, Texas. Number 6, Austin Aries. For the longest time, Austin Aries had great success in whichever promotion he landed in. However, in recent years, the perception of Aries has drastically shifted, and he's now completely fallen out of face.
I remember him, but I didn't follow Austin Aries like that.
Can't be questioned. His behavior and attitude outside of the ring has led to rampant criticism, so much so that he has zero presence in the modern day wrestling space. He would previously spend hours a day arguing with fans over political issues and was also named in the 2020 Speaking Out movement. Aries has yet to wrestle a single match in 2023 and it looks like he's taken a step back from pro wrestling. His last in-ring appearance came for the Wrestling K promotion in 2022, and when he was announced for the aforementioned show, fans on social media were quick to condemn the promotion for booking such a problematic figure. Number 5, Hardcore Holly. Hardcore Holly was a prominent fixture on WWE programs through multiple eras. He was involved in the New Generation, Attitude, Ruthless Aggression, and PG era. And this is something that can never be taken away from the former.
Oh, he'd been there for a minute. I forgot. I didn't even think about that.
WWE in 2009, which ended it.
Holly was there. What the?
Are you going to let the?
Oh, come on, man!
Companies and their crazy high prices decide if your family is allowed to stay warm this winter? Here's how a former
Oh, that was fucked up. All right, I trying to pause the video and it skipped up to something else. I don't know what the fuck that was, but it skipped to a whole nother video. I was saying that Bob Holly was there from like '94 into the early 2000s. Cause he was in there for about what did the guy say? 3 or 4 eras? Yeah, with Razor and Diesel, and then he was there with Lesnar and all that, and a young Batista and Cena and all that. He was he was there for a while. I don't know why this thing skipped over like that.
Holly was released from WWE in 2009, which ended his 15-year career in the company. Holly still focused on wrestling, yet the majority of his work was in independent promotions, meaning little fanfare was met when it came to Holly's wrestling career post-WWE. In recent years, he's taken a step back from wrestling and he prefers to focus on his love for cars. And in 2013, he released his autobiography titled The Hardcore Truth. Holly made a rare podcast appearance on the Steve Austin Show in 2018 and reflected on his career, and he revealed that despite his age, he feels pretty good and he remains active. Number 4, Nathan Jones. When Nathan Jones decided to part ways with
I remember that dude. He was something else.
His wrestling
career
became virtually non-existent. Outside of a few indie shows, Jones ventured away from the wrestling industry, yet in 2008, there were plans for him to be part of the TNA roster. However, due to a serious injury, he never ended
He's
up
in movies
competing for
now,
the
ain't he?
popular promotion.
He's in
Jones
movies.
is probably now more known for his acting roles as opposed to his brief time as a WWE star. Jones has appeared in major movies such as Mortal
Yeah, he's a
Kombat
movie
and Hobbs and Shaw, and
with
this
Michael
is an
Jai
avenue in
White,
which
too.
Jones is clearly excelling at, as the roles keep coming in for The Undertaker's former protege. Number 3, Mason Ryan. Most WWE fans like to label Mason Ryan as Batista 2.0. It was a shame that his WWE career didn't go as planned, as Ryan was keen to work hard and get better in the ring. When he departed WWE, he decided to make a bold step outside of the box of pro wrestling, and the reason why fans don't hear about Ryan is because he's working for Cirque du Soleil as an archer. WWE.com would catch up with a former New Nexus member for an interview back in 2016.
By
This
young
is what he had to
Batista.
say in regards to his new profession. There were 2 or 3 fight scenes in the show itself, so obviously having my WWE training for many years helped a lot. What's great about the show as well is that they've welcomed me in and they haven't seen me as a newcomer. They see me as someone who can help and add something to the show. They've been open to my ideas, they've asked for my ideas.
Yeah, I forgot all about that guy.
On the fight scenes that I have. We have some of the most talented athletes in the world here, and they come from all different backgrounds, but I feel like coming from the WWE that I bring something different than what they have. We have an amazing product. Number 2, Mr. Kennedy / Mr. Anderson.
Kennedy! Of course I remember him.
2009 was one of the more controversial firings. However, Kennedy,
He was
using
something
the name
else.
of Mr. Anderson, managed to
Something
find
that's
success
funny.
in Impact Wrestling as a...
Something that was funny. We would I can't remember what game that was. Might have been SmackDown vs. Raw 06 or 07. I can't remember. You would make the creative wrestlers or take the other wrestlers and put his entrance on there. And I don't know about hearing the Taker or somebody else saying Kennedy. That joke was funny. Or you take the other entrances and put them on people. I remember my buddy, he had Taker coming out there dancing like Michael. I said, cut that shit off. It was funny with the create mode back then. But I remember him. He did that. And he went to TNA and hit Kurt in the head with his own metal and made him bleed. I remember all that.
The former WWE star would go on to become world champion on 2 separate occasions. Sadly, despite the initial success, he departed Impact on bad terms, as it was said that Anderson failed an on-the-spot drug test, and ever since his release, Anderson hasn't been a prominent figure within the wrestling industry. Since his release from Impact, Anderson has worked on the independent scene and even wrestled in NWA. Yet he's no longer the major attraction he once was during his days in WWE and Impact. It looks like Anderson is slowly fizzling out his days as an in-ring talent, as Anderson only wrestles on sporadic occasions and he prefers to train future wrestlers at his wrestling school, which is known as the Academy. And number 1, Ted DiBiase. WWE's legacy stable was designed to make Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes main event stars in WWE. Unfortunately, when the stable disbanded, Rhodes became a popular star in the company, whereas DiBiase Jr. faded into the background and was eventually released from the company in 2013. Following his release, DiBiase would delve into the indie scene, yet in terms of his notoriety, it fell drastically, and it wasn't until 2023 in which his name would resurface. In April of 2023, the US Department of Justice released an official statement indicting DiBiase Jr. with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, 6 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, and 4 counts of money laundering. As of this writing, DiBiase Jr. is facing a potential prison sentence that could total 185 years.
Woo!
10 WWE wrestlers who fell to the face of the earth. Be sure to leave the comments down below, and I'll see you next time
Woo!
for wrestling content.
185 years. Oh, boy. That's depressing, boy. Ooh. That's why I was hearing DiBiase's in bad shape. But yeah, I remember all these guys, Mason Ryan, Aries, all of them. But Holly, he should be fine because he was there since '94, so he should be all right. But yeah, a lot of these guys, I ain't follow Aries and what's his name? But yeah, yeah. Like I know I was getting frustrated now. Leave AJ alone, Johnson alone now. Yeah. It's love to keep picking at that. It's like damn, you can't you ain't had enough. You can't get enough.